your boy, So Juve, and we in the building. Let's go ahead and introduce the cast of characters of the My 5 Cents podcast, the best podcast in business that nobody knows about. Into my that way, we got H.L.S.
I bet your line's up in the building. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
Good, man. Good, man. Lots happened in the news, kid.
Ooh, can't wait to talk about it. Into my that way, we got the logical genius.
Yo, the logical one is in the building. What's up, fellas?
Yes. And this is another week of our 5 cents of last week, or my 5 cents of the last week. And gosh, let's get right into it. We're going to start off at number 5. At number 5, and you guys already know, I've spoken about this country. This country is my next country. I'm ready to speak and eat Danish. That is for sure. And Denmark has announced its biggest arms deal ever. It's about 9.1 billion to buy new European-made air defense systems amid rising tensions with Russia. I am saddened by this. This is my backup country, and now my backup country is ready to go to war. Fellas, did I make the wrong decision?
You might have. You might have to go somewhere so obscure where they're just kind of living their own lives, doing their own thing. I mean, that's a lot of money to get ready for war. That's a lot of money just to prepare. There's something in the water brewing over there, and we're gonna find out soon.
You know, it's not funny, but it's weird because, you know, we always say this, like in the United States, there's really only 2 countries around us, right? Mexico and Canada, right? And Canada, is our ally for the most part. Mexico is our, ally sometimes, depending on who's president and who's not, right? But in Europe, they're constantly at each other's ends. Like they're constantly on each other because they're literally like, just too close to each other, right? Yeah, it's just too close to each other. And that land mass, even though the countries are big, they're just the land mass is too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen. And it's funny how some countries are like neutral and other countries are not, but they're like literally next door to 2 countries fighting each other. So I feel like this is like an ongoing thing for centuries with European countries now. And I'm wondering also too, like as if I don't buy into a lot of conspiracy theories, but I wonder if someone like threw it out there just so they can make a sale on some weapons, right? And saying, because who's Denmark buying it from, right? Who are they buying it from? Are they going to buy from the United States? Who are the top suppliers of weapons in the world nowadays?
That's a good question.
Yeah, they are not buying from the United States. It looks like they're going from some factories or manufacturers in Norway and Germany or France.
Okay.
Because it's quicker. So definitely not buying from the United States. That is for sure. What's interesting to me is like Putin is definitely on his like Alexander the Great stuff right now, right? So it's like I'm going to take down Ukraine, and then he's going for Denmark next. I'm very saddened by this news right here. What is the next article?
Yeah, this one is so far out there. This one I'm calling meth pets at number 4. So there's an animal shelter in Montana, in the town of Billings, where they use their incinerator over there when they have a big drug bust. They use their incinerator over there to burn it all up. But the problem over there was the exhaust wasn't working. So all that meth smoke filtered back into the facility, and everybody's getting high off meth. The cats, the dogs, some of the staffers. Some of them experience all crazy kind of symptoms, headaches, sore throat, and dizziness, but not one report of people being unhappy. So that meth pets in Billings, Montana at number 4.
Yeah, so I think that this right here is just natural. This is the natural sequel to Cocaine Bear. You have now meth pets, now the sequel to it, and all the pets are rabid off of meth. I don't know if you get rabid off of meth. I've never tried meth. I just know that the teeth get a little bit rotten with the meth. So be careful if you guys get into any jawbreakers. I'm talking about those animals that got into that meth.
So here's the funny thing about this report. So it says, and HLS had said like there was like a backup vent or something like that.
Yeah.
But they said they couldn't, it wasn't available. So I'm wondering to myself, like, all right, this is an animal shelter. They probably don't have a lot of funding. I'm wondering, like, if the backup vent was a fan that someone had that you could buy from Target or Walmart, right?
The ones you used to blow into as a kid, like those robots now.
One of those window fans, right? Or those rotating ones, and someone just misplaced it, or someone took it home and forgot to bring it back. Because I'm like, how do you? How it wasn't? It didn't say it was broken. They said it wasn't working. They said it wasn't available. What does not available mean? Like that means someone took it and used it for something else. So I don't know. That was the funny part to me.
Yeah. Meth in Montana. I mean, it's Montana. What else are you guys doing out there besides meth? I mean, no hating on Montana. I heard it's a beautiful state. But
Shout out to Montana.
Montana. Appreciate all the listeners we got out there.
We don't have a single one.
they're too busy smoking out with their pets.
So fellas,
What do you got?
number 3 story goes into, well, before we go into, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
How do you guys kill your time when you take a shit?
Your
long shits. How do you guys kill your time?
I'm checking.
Yeah, I'm reading some sort of article on my phone.
Okay. Well, you know what? You guys might want to reconsider that, right? Fellas, a new story suggests that bringing your smartphone into the bathroom could raise your risk of hemorrhoids by nearly 50%. Researchers in Boston found out that adults who use their phones while sitting on the toilet face a 40% higher risk of developing the painful condition, according to findings published this week in the journal PLOS One. The study surveyed 125 adults undergoing colonoscopies and compared their bathroom toilet habits. Of the participants, 60% admitted to using their phones on the toilet. People who said they use their toilets in the bathroom were 46% more likely to have hemorrhoids compared to the others, regardless of age, weight, sex, or fiber. So why is this an issue? Why do toilets cause a problem? So toilets keep the rectum and pelvic floor unsupported compared to sitting in a chair, causing more pressure on rectal veins, according to researchers. So fellas, what do you think? Are you gonna break your phone usage habits?
So this doesn't make sense to me. And mind you, I'm not a researcher, so. But back in the day, used to go to in the stall with the newspaper, with the magazine. Yes. So what's the difference between that and a smartphone? And two, you got the squatty potty now, right? Where, shout out to the squatty potty, put your feet up, put you in the right position to get all out in one shot.
I don't even know what to say after the squatty potty, to be honest with you. But I think the thing is, for me, is that like it's not just like the phone usage. I do believe, especially with men, we're trying to get away from our ladies and just get some peace. So the peace is usually by the toilet. And you know what? That's where, hey, I cannot be bothered because she does not want to come in here and bother me. No one could bother me while I am on the toilet. So really, I think it's really about capitalizing on being in that moment of peace.
True story.
That's funny. And I don't think it's about escaping the ladies. I think also at work, I've ducked and run at work and I'm like, I need a break. I need a breather. And my only place to do this is on the toilet at work. Right. So and I agree with you, HL. That's the first thing I thought about was, wait a minute, is there some sort of bias against smartphones? Because you see in the movies and you remember seeing the people walk in with newspapers under their armpit, sit down because they know it's going to be a long journey. Right. Yeah. And they're reading a newspaper. I remember in hospitals or doctor's offices, like they used to have magazines in, the bathrooms for you to read or whatever while you're in there. So I don't know. I feel like there's some sort of conspiracy theory from anti-cell phoners or whatever you want to call them, or maybe the newspaper industry or something to kind of go against smartphones and usage. Because I feel like this research is like 50 years too late.
Exactly.
So coming in at number 2, a new women-only nightclub open to a packed house and lively energy, but despite a big turnout, is shut down after one night. The reason? It sold 0 VIP table packages or bottles. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. I did see it on the Instagram, and I thought that this was so interesting. Fellas, what are your thoughts on the all women shutdown?
You know,
Listen,
I thought
I
this
was
was
trying to fact find this. Like I was trying to fact find this story to see whether or not it's true, but it's hysterical. If this is 100% true, it is hysterical.
the crazy part is like, where was your research team to say like this could be a good idea? And two, where are all the women that like women? The women that like women are not buying bottles to impress other women. Is that not
Apparently
happening?
not. Apparently not.
Apparently our game of buying like women drinks was all off. It was not the way to go. We
Mm.
could have been saving a lot of ducats if we didn't go about this strategy of buying women drinks so that they might give us a number that we have to memorize because we didn't have a cell phone back then. Oh man, those were the days.
Those were the days. Shout out to Exit.
Shout out to Barry's.
Shout out to Barry's too, for sure. Oh, some good times back in the days when drinks weren't so expensive.
$2 drink special Thursday, baby.
I mean, seriously. I mean, that's a good point, right? Because most of these places, like, did they not do like half price drinks or something like that to kind of hype up the thing? Like, just sitting there, dry mouth and everything, huh?
I mean, how much money did you lose on one night? Like
For you to
one
shut
night.
down like the next day or like after the first day. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's insane. It's insane. I mean, you have to try. Like, did you really give it a good try? You get the right music in there? Did you have the right clientele? Who promoted this night? Come
Yeah.
on.
Well, speaking of losing money in one night, let's get to number one.
Yes.
Yeah, number one is a crazy story. So we all know about Charlie Kirk and his death about a week ago. But more recent news, ABC has indefinitely suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live after its host Jimmy Kimmel made remarks about the killing of the conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. Kimmel criticized how some in MAGA movement were reacting, suggesting they were trying to distance themselves from the shooter and use the incident for political gain. The backlash was immediate. Nexstar Media Group, which owns many ABC affiliated stations, called his comments offensive and insensitive and said it would stop airing the show on its stations. As of now, neither Jimmy Kimmel nor ABC have announced when, if ever, the show will return. Fellas, cancel culture is still real. What do you think?
This is big. This is big on so many different levels. The Trump administration got Stephen Colbert out, who's a constant critic of the administration. Now Jimmy Kimmel. I think even back when Colbert ended, they talked about ending Jimmy Kimmel. I think this was the right fuel to launch their attack and say you're out. I have no doubt the administration was a spearhead in this canceling.
Honestly, there is a lot to unpack here.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the First Amendment right,
Free speech.
freedom of speech, and I think of a couple of past episodes. One, I think about the episode with Talent the comedian, in which he was like, "I can't be canceled. Like I'm a comedian, right?" So, in what was said or in that montage, Jimmy Kimmel is doing his job, which is to make light of whatever news that is happening. So to get canceled for doing your job is a little bit scary, which I think leads to like the whole piece of just fear. And, our president has been seen as almost godlike, and it's due to this fear of what is going to be the consequences of going against him or his thinking or his thought process, which ultimately has us in a quandary, I would say.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Kimmel, one of the episodes that we had, I consider to be one of the greatest voices, top five. I had him in my top five list as far as greatest voices in the industry. So for him to get canceled for those comments, freedom of speech is under attack.
Agree.
This is an interesting one because I agree. I mean, this goes into the debate about Charlie Kirk and like like freedom of speech and does anyone really have the right to say whatever? People instead of disagreeing, people resort to violence or whatever. This is interesting because if Jimmy Kimmel said this maybe on his own, like not on the airwaves, like not during his job, like outside of his job, like in a public setting or on Twitter or something like that, I wonder if the reaction would be the same. Maybe it would be, maybe it's not. But because it happened on the job, I can see why ABC has like oh no, like because you represent our company and you said something that's really really sensitive to at least half of Americans that support that on that side that support Charlie Kirk and the president. But yeah, I don't know. It's I agree because part of his job is to write jokes and make jokes. I don't know if this I didn't see or hear the commentary in person. I read it, or I read the comment, but I don't know his intent behind it. If it was trying to be funny, if he said it in a light tone or whatever. Um, but that's his thing is he does political commentary. Like all the late night hosts talk about politics in every level, right? I know they try to some of them try to water it down and kind of keep it at borderline or whatever, but this is a very interesting because this is probably not the worst thing Jimmy Kimmel has ever said in his career, right? As a late night talk show host.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something more to this, right? Maybe to your point, so like they were trying to get him out anyway, right? And this was kind of like a way to get him out, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, who's next? Jon Stewart? Like, it's tough right here.
Yeah.
So hate to leave it on a melancholy note, but until next week, this is my 5 cents.